Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
Man, what a show do we have in store for you guys today. Loaded show. Yeah. This might be like the most there's nothing going on show of the entire offseason. This one.
Yeah.
Nothing has happened.
Specifically. We would have had a hand up. I'm a little to blame for that. We would have had our special guest interview today, but my tooth fell out of my head, and I've been walking around with no tooth in my head, and I got a call from the dentist late yesterday, and they said, hey, we can squeeze you in, but you got to get here early in the morning, and there was really no other opportunity, and the fact that I have to get to Arizona soon and do some like media day shit, I can't do that toothless, so hand up.
I mean,
that's
you could.
on me. But
You could.
I could. I mean,
yeah, that'd be a good bit.
I do. Yeah. Let's be honest. I don't know how much that's taking away from whatever it is I'm bringing to the table. So, you're right. That very well could have been easily done. I don't know that anybody would have been none the wiser.
Yeah. Also, congrats on your AEW debut. I saw a lot of people were excited about that.
I did. Yes. Yeah. A lot of people have been wondering how I've been able to split the time. Look, it's a good workout regimen. It's a good diet, blessed with some decent genes. I think once you put all those things together, you're able to split your time and split your effort. And I've been blessed to be able to do so.
I mean, like this guy is you, by the way. Like for anyone that doesn't know, like if you're watching on YouTube, same guy.
Same dude. Very.
He's from Everett. He's from Everett, Massachusetts.
Really? Oh, I was going to say Everett. I believe there's an Everett in Washington State.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa. He's an Everett guy.
Did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to, I'm going to have to take a look at the schedule, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be fortunate enough to be in a city where they've got a show going on, because that's something that happens a lot that
I can put you guys in touch.
Yeah. Like we should absolutely lock up. I think that would be funny. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, he's a Sox guy, obviously.
Is he like a noted Sox guy?
Yeah. I mean, so I didn't know that until, I don't know, probably like a couple of years ago, because I was talking to Jimmy Stewart, producer at 98.5 The Sports Hub. And I was like, I feel like, because we've had Corey Graves on the show before, CM Punk, we've had interactions. I was like, a lot of Big Bill, Enzo, all those dudes that are in the professional wrestling world that I have a relationship with, it's because they're baseball fans. So it's like, Big Bill, he's a huge Yankee fan. Same thing with Enzo. CM Punk, huge Cubs fan. Corey Graves, big Pirates fan. So I'm like, where the fuck are the AEW WWE Red Sox fans? I was like, how have I not connected with, like, you're telling me with two huge rosters of professional wrestlers that not one of them is a Red Sox fan? And then here comes Tommaso Ciampa. I didn't realize he was from Everett, Massachusetts, and he's the Red Sox guy. Yeah,
that's I'm still well, who did I see last year at Fenway? Was it the Hardy Boys?
Yeah. They were, Matt and Jeff were in town for, I believe, TNA. They were promoting their match with the Dudley Boys.
Yes. Yeah. So I hung out with the Hardy Boys for a while, but I'm still, every time we talk about this, I always go back to the moment where I walked into the gym at the hotel and was like awkwardly staring at this dude. Like, I know this guy from somewhere. This dude is, I know this dude. Like he's absolutely somebody. Yeah. I'm the idiot who can't quite pin it down right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I did the creepy, like FaceTiming Jared and making sure to put this guy in the background. And then I'm like, who is that? And you're like, oh, that's CM Punk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, knew it.
Best in the world.
Yeah. So
huge baseball fan, like a legitimate baseball fan. Like some of them, it's like, like they'll throw out the first pitch somewhere because they're from, Damian Priest, huge, grew up in the Bronx, big Yankee fan.
Big Yankee fan.
But Punk, legit loves baseball. Like he's gone up in the booth and done the take me out to the ball game, Harry Carey thing. He's done the first pitch. He's done the bleacher. He's done it all.
Yeah,
I
did. I told him I genuinely appreciated like his willingness to put himself out there and get into MMA and just try to, not I don't want to say bridge that gap, but just expand himself. And I think a lot of people, especially with his status and his brand, and they'd be very tentative to do that. And he was like, "Buddy, I got one life, man, and I'm fucking living it."
He sure
very much appreciated that about him.
Yeah. Great guy. Just like the Underdog Fantasy app's a great app. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. I'm looking at the ad reads that we have for this show, and I see that one of them is Shopify. And boy, do I have some news for you guys.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
So, all right, here's the deal, right? The baseball is dead merch is ready to go.
Oh. Huh.
But
how's about that?
But we're in like the middle of like the Super Bowl lead up and all that. I was like, I don't think now's the time to launch baseball as dead merch. I think we should launch it on opening day. What do you guys think?
I would push back and say definitely after the Super Bowl. But I think pitchers and catchers is a great time to get that to start raising that flag, because people are going to want merch to wear to spring training. Yeah, they're going to want merch to wear to opening day. So how do they do that? They get it in spring. They get it before spring so that they can get their merch and then wear that to spring, because I'm going to be out in spring training. We're going to be out in spring. Like when that happens, they're going to want to take pictures. I want to take pictures with them, and I want to take pictures with them in their BID merch.
Okay. Jay, what do you think?
I think that makes a lot of sense. I agree with Dallas. Post Super Bowl, but before opening day. Let's get these out. Let's get them out in the wild.
What if, so every year after the Super Bowl concludes, I've done this for like the last 15 years. Super Bowl ends, I famously will tweet, "It's baseball season." What if when the Super Bowl concludes, we drop BID merch?
Love that.
And you know what? What I mean, is there anything to giving the fine people just a little bit of a discount, like within the first 24 hours of that merch drop? The minute you fire off that tweet, you get that order in within the first 24 hours. We're gonna take a little skin off the top.
Yeah, we're gonna give you 36.5% off because you've waited 365 days to buy this merch.
That's all.
Yeah, we'll figure. Yeah, I think that there has to be like a pop moment.
Yeah.
After the wait that we've had the merch on, so it's like if it's not opening day, when is that moment? It's like, well, there's a lot of baseball discourse at the conclusion of the Super Bowl. People are like, all right, fuck yeah, it's baseball season now. Like, there's no like, fuck yeah, it's baseball season when like guys are showing up with their equipment bags. But when the Super Bowl ends, there is that pop.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it's a wonderful idea.
All right. I'll try to facilitate that.
Done deal. Are we going to have modeling? Like we got models. Do we have women's merch? Like women's cut shirts, women like tank tops?
You need to calm down. Just like it's like the fact that we have one shirt. Like it's come on. Like do we have baseball as dead swim caps? Like yeah, like all right. Let's get a shirt, a hoodie, a hat.
Yes, that's a little aggressive. A hat.
Yeah.
Fucks. Don't tease me with a good time. You're talking about a baseball podcast that's got baseball hats?
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
Yeah. Just baby steps. Okay.
All right.
We'll get there. Trust the process.
I was going to say, I got a friend who just turned the big 4-0. She's looking great. I know she'd be down to help us model.
Anyways,
it'd be,
Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. From baseball is dead in Section 10 to brands just getting started. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. Accelerate your efficiency, whether you're uploading new products or trying to improve existing ones. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography. Get the word out that you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. Best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. What if people haven't heard about my brand? Well, Shopify helps you and find your customers with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns. What if I get stuck? Shopify is always around to share advice with their award-winning 24/7 customer support. You can tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to paychecks and analytics and more. No need to save multiple websites or try to figure out what platform is hosting the tool that you need. Everything all in one place, making your life easier and your business operations smoother. And did I mention that iconic purple shop pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. It also helps boost conversions, meaning less carts going abandoned and more sales for you. It's time to turn those what ifs into cash money dollars with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/dead. That's DEAD. Shopify.com/dead. Shopify.com/dead. I'm excited for the merch, man.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
It's going to be great.
Ready
got
for
a
it.
model, got the merch.
I don't know if we have a model. I think, I think it's...
Was that not... Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
I think we're just... I think that job's open right now.
Oh. All right. Well, like I said, I got a friend.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you see where they were?
Was that California? Was that
they were in the homeland? No, they were in the homeland.
Really? Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
To the DR, huh?
Correct. Yep.
La Repubblica.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yep. She had her 40th birthday. My sister did, and she said, "Where better to celebrate than going back to where it all started?"
I'm coming home.
Yeah.
I'm coming home.
Had there been any sort of... Did she see any murals of you?
Yeah, there's a barber shop and there's a gym in Santo Domingo that has a spray painted mural outside of it. Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
Of what you look like then or now?
It's kind of like the phases, like the different phases.
You could probably paint
nice.
you could paint a stop sign, Jay, if it was a before picture.
I know we haven't done the 99 redraft.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't. We have not.
No, we've had some heavy shows, and then then we got a day like today where it's like, well, what's really going on in the world of baseball? It doesn't really feel like baseball's around the corner. I guess that's because you've got guys that are still out there that shouldn't still be out there at this point. Like
there's still players.
When's February?
Yeah, there's still players out there that can definitely bolster a team's odds. Not only whether it's in their division, I think that would go without saying, but absolutely their postseason odds as well. I mean, we're talking some healthy arms that can make a difference. I know Red Sox fans are super excited about
the Sox.
I think that's what I said.
Yeah, Sunday's February 1st. What team stands to with adding one player? Mm-hmm. What team stands to add the highest amount of postseason probability?
Would it be the New York Mets?
Well, I mean, everyone's got Framber going to Baltimore now.
Well, so hear me out. And what other name have I been throwing out there? I'm not telling you that Framber...
Zach Gallen?
Yes, and I'm not telling you that Framber and Gallen are one and the same, but you mean to tell me with what the Mets have done, if they add one of those two, that still doesn't help them? I believe that absolutely.
I'm not saying adding Gallen doesn't help, but I think if Baltimore adds or now, are we hearing that like the Giants might be the most aggressive team?
Heavily in on Framber. Heavily in. But with that being said, you take their additions. You take the additions of Baltimore and you plug Framber on either one of those and you put Gallen in New York. Are you putting either one of those other two teams ahead of the New York Mets based on what they have done as well? In terms of the odds enhancement factor that you're talking about?
I think whoever gets Framber gets the biggest bump. I mean,
Framber's a lot better than Zach Gallen.
We're not. Yeah, that's not even a debate that I'm having. I'm just saying, with everything that those three teams that we just mentioned have done, are the two aforementioned, the Giants and the O's, are those two just the Framber away from winning that conversation?
I think you can make compelling cases for all three of those teams that you mentioned, and I think there's a reason. Part of the reason for that is that's why those teams are in the conversation for these players, right? Like, I think it's not accidental that these are the interested teams, and I know that they're not going off of this specifically, but Fangraphs and Zimborski released the latest Zips projections, the first ones in earlier today, and whatever, believe them to whatever degree you want. They've got the Orioles at 88 and 74, 2 games out of the top of the AL East, which they have as a tie between the Blue Jays and the Red Sox at 90 and 72. So if you add Framber to a Orioles team that is an 88 win quality team, that's a huge uptick in their likelihood of winning the division and also just generally securing their spot in the postseason. But you can make an similarly interesting argument for the Giants, I think, based off those same projections, where they're at 84 wins, which is way behind in the division, but only 2 games out of a wild card spot where Framber would make a huge difference there. So I think it makes a lot of sense that those two teams are in on him.
Yeah, and I mean, isn't it like, I think we kind of touched on this last time, but why isn't Lucas Giolito's name in that same conversation of guys who can give you the bump? Like, are he and Gallen more comparable in that conversation to have?
I would feel better acquiring Giolito than Gallen.
And so if you feel that way, I think it's fair that you have to include Lucas Giolito in what we will call that sub-Framber tier, where that's another arm that could absolutely, I mean, because what's going to be the question mark, right? Health. And I think that's a question mark that we place over a lot of guys. But I mean, him specifically, it's understood what the track record looks like, but you look back at last year and what he was able to put together, you got to feel pretty good about that. And if he can maintain that or give you some semblance of that, again, he can back that up, man, you got to be interested in that. You have got to be interested in that. So I think we're getting to a point in time now, hopefully, where teams are starting to get a little more serious about their offers with guys. And, instead of kind of circling, they're starting to hone in on. They're starting to make those final passes. Like, all right, what do you need? What does it look like? I mean, maybe it's a matter of putting together an offer that allows this player to feel comfortable compensation-wise, but also understands I'm going to have to work for it. So whether it's an incentive-laden deal or it's something that, and, we'll have time to talk about this, but hey, are we factoring in 2027, what that might bring, what that might not bring, and how I'm looking at that? Because realistically, if you're somebody like a Giolito, are you in line for a 3-year deal? I don't know. Are you in line for a 2-year deal? Maybe. And if that's the case, well, we're at that pivotal point now where that second year is up for question. That's a very real topic of conversation. So now you boil it down to, all right, where am I going to be landing safely on a 1-year deal if that's the case? And maybe I get options to pick up if I can hit these certain benchmarks. But I think teams are starting to, I would like to believe teams are starting to hopefully get a little more serious about entertaining those sub Fromber tiers and what they can bring to the table for him.
What about Eugenio Suárez to the Red Sox?
Well, I mean, that's been something they've been interested in for a long time.
I mean, if you're him and you're picking between the Red Sox or the Pirates, I mean, where are you going?
I mean, do you feel like the Pirates give you as much of an opportunity to get to where you want to be this year as the Red Sox do?
Stop.
Probably.
Come on,
no,
dude.
No. I wasn't going to.
I can't allow that. I can't allow that.
The answer is probably not.
If I were a pitcher, I would be intrigued to join a rotation like the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But as a position player, yeah, I mean, like, you know, I'm going to the Red Sox. If I'm a dude that can pop 40 bombs and play some, you know, decent defense, whatever, then yeah, I'm going to Boston. But if I'm a number 4 starter somewhere and I'm choosing between the Red Sox right now or the Pittsburgh Pirates, I'm going to fucking Pittsburgh, dude. Like, I want to be part of that group.
And to your point about the pitcher, like, that's the whole thing is, all right, well, I'd like to join that group in Pittsburgh, but I'd also like that effort to pay off. And are the teams that could be coming calling in the years ahead, because again, if I'm going to be working on a short deal here because of what the future holds in terms of the CBA situation, how much credit am I going to get for my individual performance? And you'd also hate to enter the fray with that being your number one bucket list item, which is I just, myself as an individual, needs to go out and perform, because you want guys to come in and want to have an idea that, hey, as a team, this is where we're headed and I can impact that. You don't ever want to bring in multiple guys who are there just for themselves. And not saying that any of the arms that we're talking about right now would have that outlook, but it would be tough not to put that cart in front of that horse if you are on a short-term deal with just trying to perform so that you can land that bigger one. And do you think you're going to get the love or the acknowledgement or the understanding in a place like Pittsburgh, as opposed to having wins and having potential postseason aspirations stack up for your body of work as well? Because I think it's easier to argue, this is what I did, this is what it helped achieve from a team perspective, as opposed to saying, this is what I did as an individual. Man, now put on these rose-colored lenses and take a look at what this could look like if I was on a team that was that much more competitive, right? Those are two very different conversations you're having.
Speaking of, just kind of where we're at with the off season and whatnot, Jay Hay has been taking to task the shredder.
Oh my God.
Yeah, not a big fan of the results that the shredder has put out there, particularly with the starting pitching. And I saw that last night. He put out via the NUG system, which is trademarked in the United States, the top 8 starting pitchers in Major League Baseball. By any chance, Jay Hay, do you have the shredder? What did they put out? A top 10?
Yep, I do have their list.
Okay, yeah. If you want to give out the shredder's top 10 side by side with the NUG system's top 8, then I would love to hear that.
Sure. So there's consensus at the top with Scooble and Skeens, and then you have on their list Zach Wheeler at 3, which I think is, I think that's a problem right off the bat. Not that Zach Wheeler's talent needs to be debated. We're all on the same page with him, but the latest report is that it sounds very unlikely to me to be up to a full workload or anything close for the start of the season. So unless that changes, that feels like a weird place to put him. I have Garrett Crochet at number 3. I think Scooble, Skeens, Crochet is a pretty obvious top 3 based on what those people accomplished last season and what you can reasonably count on them for doing this upcoming season. They then have Chris Sale at number 4, which, I guess if we're emphasizing per inning or per batter dominance, that would be an appropriate place to put Chris Sale. You could probably put him even higher than Zach Wheeler if you wanted to. But I just find it, again, odd that they're putting a guy who threw 120 innings last season.
Yeah,
and is entering his age 37 season as the number 4 starting pitcher in baseball. And like,
So
specifically over Garrett Crochet is where I kind of like the mental disconnect happens for me, because they're both lefties. They're both like, they both just provided us with a body of work from last season. One of those is more than a decade younger than the other. And I don't really see the argument for why you would be putting Chris Sale over Garrett Crochet. That was the initial rub for me, the problem with the Shredders list. So I'll stop there for a second.
yeah, no, I think that's a very fair point, because I looked at the body of work of Chris Sale, and I looked at the age, and I almost let those two things cancel each other out to an extent, saying to myself, do you know what it's like? Because I do, to have somebody who's aged the way that he has and bounce back from the issues that he's bounced back from really more recently in the later stages of his career than the earlier stages in his career, and has gone on to produce the way he has in the later stages of his career, albeit in a shorter or a smaller body of work. So to your point, how old is Chris Sale? 35 years old, 36 years old, whatever it is,
36.
125 and 2/3 innings. So not a huge chunk in terms of what the rest of this list was doing. And there's another guy on this list who kind of flip-flops. It's almost the inverse, where similar in terms of a smaller body of work for Hunter Green, but he's also one of the younger guys. And I think the trajectory that he's on, the projections, those are, I mean, I think those speak for themselves. But Hunter Green had just over 100 innings?
Yeah, and that's one of those, like, Hunter Green at 10 is one of those that I think is more like a reasonable debate, like where you want to put somebody at 10 or whatever, you're based on his upside. Like, obviously there's no case for Hunter Green over, like, Logan Webb is a glaring omission, I feel like, from this list.
And Freddie Peralta.
Logan Webb, like, I get it. Up until recently, there wasn't an enormous amount of sex appeal. He had a lot of strikeouts last year as well. Like,
Especially with this guy,
that one to me isn't like some sort of indignity putting somebody over Logan Webb, but we're talking about a guy who's finished 2nd, 6th, and 4th in the Cy Young in each of the last 3 seasons. I don't know. There was just like, and then I saw that there was a segment where they had Snitker on, where they had his top 10 pitchers, and he had Fried over Skubal, and it's like, whatever.
Who do you have at number 1, Jay?
It's just Brian Snitker's list, but he had Sale. He had Sale, right?
Yeah. I mean, come on.
But like, what is the point of doing a segment where you ask a guy for his top 10 pitchers if he's just going to like that's just bullshitting to your face. Nobody believes that Max Fried is better than, put Chris Sale aside for a second. Nobody fucking believes that Max Fried is better than Tarek Skubal, right?
No. He has DeGrom over Skubal in 2026.
And I like the segment, I know, was like, oh, he's seen these guys a lot. He has direct experience with these guys. But okay, so let's just talk about that. Like, whatever. It doesn't really matter. This is just like, we don't have anything to talk about But I did find myself getting fired up today, where like, we're just having people on who are telling you that Max Fried is better than Tarek Skubal. And it's just like, and that all of those guys are better than Paul Skeens. Like, Max Fried's better than Paul Skeens? No, of course not.
I mean, it's a consensus 1 and 1A between Skubal
for sure,
and Skeens.
For sure.
There's nobody that can justifiably, with any level of integrity, argue that is incorrect. There's no argument you can make that those two are not 1 and 1A. And I as big of a Skubal fan and Skubal defender as I am, not that he needs any defending, the body of work speaks for itself.
Coming after Skubal.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of what got Jay Hay pissed off. Is it's not that you're coming after him, but to not even to clearly and almost blatantly and intentionally find a way to put someone ahead of either one of those individuals, like, that's an exercise in and of itself.
Just like, say you're ranking Brian Snitker's best friends. Okay. And just, it doesn't have to be top 10 starting pitchers, because that's not what that is.
Right.
Yeah. Cause I mean, you look through, like I was just kind of looking around between these 6 categories: innings pitched, ERA, strikeouts, walk percentage, K per 9, and whip. I mean, Skubal is at the top of every one of these lists, damn near. I mean, at the top of every one of these lists. And
you don't have to convince anyone who's listening that Skubal is better than Max Fried. I think we're all in agreement that was.
But Skeens is right behind him. And the one conversation that I wanted to have,
told that Skeens is better than Max Fried. We all know.
No, but the Logan Webb omission was kind of what got me going, because he, out of everybody here, is that beautiful combination of swing and miss dominance and contact dominance, weak contact dominance, that you're looking for, and that you almost have to make a decision between one of the two when you're looking at starting pitcher dominance. Like, all right, this guy does a great job of missing barrels, weak contact. Maybe that doesn't mean he's punching as many guys out. Or this guy, look, he's got incredible swing and miss shit. Guys can get the barrel to him here and there, though, and he might not be keeping the ball on the ground, so that might turn into susceptibility in the air and damage in the air. But Logan Webb is punching tickets and continues to post one of the best ground ball rates in baseball, year in and year out.
To go back to the Shredders list, because the Snitker thing was just an aside, because whatever, it's just his opinion or fake list. But like Sale over Crochet, there has only been one pitcher in the wild card era, lefty, to have seasons by wins above replacement that were better than what Garrett Crochet did at age 37 or older. And it's Randy Johnson. So like in terms of the Shredder sort of being this computer that is spitting out this insight, I would just be curious to know how it's arriving at the idea that a 37-year-old pitcher with virtually no track record of pitchers that age performing at a level of what Crochet did last year would outperform Crochet again this year. So anyway.
Yeah. And a tip of the cap to Zach Wheeler as well for being one of the elder statesmen on this list. And the fact that he's in that conversation, the fact that he's in my belief, he's in the upper half of that conversation for him and Sale.
But would anybody take Zach Wheeler as things stand right now over anybody else who appears on this list? No, they would not.
The whole point is right now.
Right.
Well, I mean, so right now, and now
is Garrett Cole on this
further.
list? Why is Zach Wheeler on this list? If Garrett Cole, where is Garrett Cole?
Well, he didn't perform.
But Zach Wheeler ended the year with an injury that's fair. That is a fair distinction. He missed the entire season as opposed to 25 starts. I understand that he ended
with an injury, but he performed. Zach Wheeler gave you 150 innings.
Yeah, he gave 26 starts for sure. Yeah.
And that's more than Garrett Cole made. That's why Garrett Cole's not in the conversation, because he just did not post, period. So again, we have two eyeballs. You can look at it one and say, well, let's have the conversation about, right now. And does right now factor in 3 years ago up until right now? Does right now mean what he did last year? Because I think that's what a lot of this list is based on, is recency bias and projection as well. That's the only way a guy, in my opinion, like Hunter Green lands on this list with 107 2/3 innings, is because we all know what this dude is going to turn into, is quietly turning into, and maybe not so quietly anymore. Guy's a fucking animal. Look out. But as far as the body of work goes, out of everybody on this list, he threw the least amount of innings. But he's still on this list. He's still there. Why? Because he took the baseball. He did what he did. And how many starts did he make? 19? So if we're talking about Zach Wheeler making 26 starts and wondering why Garrett Cole's nowhere in the conversation, I hate to say it because it sounds like I'm knocking Hunter Green, but this is the farthest thing from what I'm doing. I'm just trying to put in perspective the limited action that we got, but the dominance that we all know he's capable of. That's why he's here. So in a world where he makes 32 plus starts and what those numbers could turn into, that's why Hunter Green is on this list.
There is a cognitive dissonance for me in a thing called Top 10 right now, where the last time I saw Yoshinobu Yamamoto on a mound, he was shoving shit down in the World Series time after time after time and taking the ball to the end of the game. And he's 4 spots behind Zach Wheeler, who could not finish the season because of an injury that ends careers. Like, so I just don't, like, this isn't disrespecting Zach Wheeler's track record. He's basically had the greatest run that didn't result in a Cy Young award, arguably in baseball history. We've talked about that on this pod, but like, it's top 10 right now. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto had a compelling argument for being the best pitcher standing in Major League Baseball by the time 2025 was over, right? And so it's just like, again, it's all lighthearted because it's a stupid list, but I know what I saw at the end of last season, and I know who wasn't pitching because of health reasons, and now an offseason has happened. I saw the latest update on Zach Wheeler. It wasn't overly optimistic as best as I read it. So that's all I'm saying.
So then, and I asked you this before, like, what was the issue taken? Was it the list in general, or was it like
it's like everything? I'm just being annoying at this point, probably, like
specific placing of individuals, because I think there's a fair argument to make with what you said about Yamamoto, and this is what my thoughts were, is who else on this list do you think, I mean, given the opportunity, could be capable of doing what Yamamoto did down the stretch for his team on the biggest stages? You know, probably not many. No. And if that's the case, why is Yamamoto not third? And I appreciate and respect everything that massive donkey Crochet did.
No, it's a fair argument. You could,
why would he not be third? Because of how he finished right now.
I think you could make a very, very good argument that he should be. I think to wrap up my thoughts on this, because I know we want to get moving, the crux of my issue with this list was Wheeler and Sale. And it just doesn't feel like they fit with for different reasons, that they fit with the rest of the list. In terms of what it's supposed to be emphasizing or reflecting. I'm very prepared to eat shit on both of that because those guys are awesome. But, you know, it's Yamamoto, it's Crochet. I feel exceptionally confident in both of their talents, which is why I would have them third and fourth respectively instead of those guys.
Gun to your head, which one of those guys are you yanking off the list to put Logan Webb on it?
I would yank... I mean, honestly, it's either Hunter Green or Zach Wheeler for me. Like, and Zach Wheeler's just a health case. Like, if he's not going to be ready to go, it feels weird. Hunter Green, as you laid out, is such a case of projection in a way that no other pitcher on this list really is. Because everybody else has given you the full slate, right? They've given you the full 30 starts, whatever we're counting as a full season. So I think it would be one of those two, but I remember talking on the podcast through like Hunter Green's first X number of starts last season, and we were talking about, is this the Cy Young breakout? So we know it's possible.
Yes. And
every time he takes the mound, he's one of the 10 best pitchers in the sport, arguably. But again, just about sustaining that. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun fodder, but I couldn't really believe some of the disrespect to Crochet and Yamamoto.
Yeah. Hunter Green, I think, Hunter Green, because Christopher Sanchez has hit that 200 inning mark, and Hunter Green is a guy. I mean, we're only a couple years removed from an all-star appearance, a top 10 Cy Young finish for the fella, and I want to see what a 200 inning season for him looks like. I want to see what a 32 start season looks like, and in that year he got 26 under his belt, but. You know, almost like I want to see Byron Buxton, what his numbers and his career would look like given 10 years of clean health. I want to see what a season of Hunter Green taking the ball 32, 33 times, getting to that 200 inning mark looks like, because it is electric shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with Jay. Like, I don't know. Like, when I see right now, it's like I understand that like their talent right now belongs in the conversation, but specifically Zach Wheeler, it's like, well, right now, is he one of the top 10 pitchers in baseball? Well, he's not a pitcher in baseball because of the health, which sucks because, like Dallas said, you know, we've had conversations multiple times about where he ranks in history amongst the best pitchers to not win a Cy Young award. And by the time he is Hall of Fame eligible, You know, if it were 40 years ago, the voters would look at it and say, well, it doesn't have the hardware. And it's like, well, the voters are getting younger and younger and the dinosaurs are dying out. So, you know, I think if he ultimately doesn't get one, he'll still be a Hall of Famer. But yeah, I don't know. I like this shit. I like getting worked up about stuff that doesn't matter. I love, you know, I don't like compiling them because I don't like to be blamed for them, but I like dissecting other people's lists for sure. I hate having to put together a list. I know that.
I also, just to follow on the Zach Wheeler thing, I do think how he returns from this, assuming he does return, is pretty fascinating as it relates to his actual Hall of Fame candidacy, though, because like I think him feeling like he was going to get there was predicated on not dealing with the sort of interruption that we're dealing with right now. And if he just kind of stays where he's at in terms of overall career value or peak value, it's going to be like Johan got no support. And you would be hard pressed to sell me on the fact that Zach Wheeler had he certainly didn't have a better peak, and he did not have a better career, in my opinion, than Johan Santana either. So it's like, I know it's a different era, different voting panel, all that. Maybe some of those guys who were overlooked will get better treatment, but like, he's behind Felix. He's probably like, is he ahead of Hamels in the pecking order? Hamels got, like, I'm asking, I don't know off the top of my head. No. Hamel's career numbers certainly provide a lot more bulk, and he's got the postseason. I know Wheeler's been solid in the postseason as well, but Hamels has got some pretty sick postseason performances. I mean, that's kind of like
I got Hamels better than both those guys.
So there you go. Like, I do think Wheeler needs to keep building.
Younger than he is.
Yeah,
no, Wheeler's 35 years old.
Age 36 right? Season right now.
36, yeah. And so this is where like Wheeler, if over the next 3 seasons, Wheeler was going to give us something like we got from him last year, then I think that conversation becomes very much so more of a, I'm not going to call it a lock, but more of a definitive, like, we got to have this conversation. And whether hardware or not, right? The Cy under his belt or not.
That. Yeah.
From that point in time on, if he's giving us a 4 to 5 win season over those next 3 years with the kind of work that he's put in, the kind of dominance that he's capable of, we're talking sub 1 whip, right? I mean, 10 Ks per 9. What is it? 11? Almost 12. Like, yeah.
I mean, he's even going into his age 36 season. Like, he's even, I don't know. He's 4 years shy of having a decade of like Hall of Fame play. Like, so yeah, I would like to amend my take in that I don't think he's got it.
We can move on. David Price, John Lester, DeGrom, when his candidacy is dissected, like Felix, he's to Johan again. He's behind all of these guys. Hamels, as Dallas laid out. Like, I don't. That's not to say that he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but if we're going to end up having, like, if he stays where he is, then we need to be opening it up to guys that I don't like. Does anybody think of David Price as a Hall of Famer? I would say that maybe currently he would not get an enormous amount of support.
No, but I think Zach Wheeler is probably closer to those two guys specifically that you just mentioned than he is a Johan and that he is a Hamels. And that's where the next 3 years of work that I brought up would have to come into play. Is I like as of right now, Zach Wheeler is in that conversation with John Lester. He's in that conversation with David Price. Now, do they have the hardware? Sure. But all things considered, the next 3 years are going to be extremely important for Zach Wheeler's candidacy.
Even if he has like 3 5-win seasons, I don't know, 3 5-win seasons would get him to like 55 career WAR.
50 plus career WAR is going to be enough in the new voting era. I think that's going to be a real serious, because DeGrom's at 45 by B reference right now, and I think DeGrom's going to end up getting a lot of Hall of Fame support.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they should, because ultimately, I think if you had a Hall of Fame run for a decade and the rest of it was shit. Like, I'm not going to hold the shit against you. It's like if you dominated for a decade, that's a Hall of Fame player to me. I don't know.
Well, also, like, the core question will still remain the same. Were you one of the greatest players of your era?
Of your era.
Correct. And if the answer to that is yes, then I don't necessarily care about where you rank in the Hall of Fame in terms of innings pitched for all the starting pitchers who have gotten in. And that's the shift that is happening gradually, but will at some point reach, I think, a point where people with, DeGrom's got 1,500 career innings pitched. Like, people with 2,000 innings pitched are going to be getting serious Hall of Fame consideration sooner rather than later.
Well, I hope he does. I'm a big Zach Wheeler guy, but you just never know. But either way, Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Delete Me does all the hard work for you of wiping you and your family's personal information from data broker websites. Delete Me knows your privacy is worth protecting. Sign up and provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted, and their experts take it from there. Delete Me sends you regular, personalized privacy reports showing what info they found, where they found it, and what they removed. Delete Me isn't just a one-time service. Delete Me is always working for you, constantly monitoring and removing the personal information that you don't want on the internet. The New York Times Wirecutter named Delete Me their top pick for data removal services. It's fantastic. Can speak from experience here. No one wants their personal stuff on the internet. I certainly don't, and Delete Me takes good care of that. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for the BID listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/BID and use the promo code BID at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/BID and enter the promo code BID at checkout. That is joindeleteme.com/BID, promo code BID. Okay. What else is are you guys cooking on over there? I wanted to get your thoughts on this, Dallas. And Jay, hey, but I know that Dallas is a big MLB The Show guy. How do we feel about Aaron Judge getting a second cover?
I know that there was some pushback on it. Look, it's tough to get angry about it because of not only the season he had, the players
There's
that
no
he
one
is.
else. I love Aaron Judge.
Yes.
I'm an Aaron Judge. I'm a judgy guy, but with all the stars that are in baseball right now, there's no one else you could have put on the cover. And if you were going to do it, if you were going to put Judge on the cover again, why not in a WBC year put him in the Team USA on the cover? Why not do that?
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
Is the fact that he is now captaining the ship. Why do we not do that?
Right.
Let's go that route.
That feels like an easy one.
Right. And I mean, wouldn't it be great? Like, I'll be honest, hand up. I'm not sure that, is there a WBC option?
I don't know.
I don't think there is. And wouldn't that be great if you could just play your own WBC tournament?
That'd be sick.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. I wonder if it's because you can't get all like the licensing for fellas that aren't the MLB affiliated.
But you could put a date, and that's fine. I mean, there's workarounds. They have ways of doing that, right? Just name them something else. So I think based on your country of origin, you should be able to be drafted onto that team, right? Like I can't put Scooble on the Dominican Republic, just like I can't put Ellie De La Cruz on the USA team. Can't do that. So your country of origin, your country of birth, there should be a setting where we could draft that, and boom, you can start your own WBC tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a miss. And I love Judge. I think it was a miss to not do the Team USA for the cover, or just like, I don't know, how many different stars are in Major League Baseball right now that have never been on the cover of a video game. My whole stance was it should be WBC oriented. So why not a player from each and every country? Sure. Why not?
That was if it wasn't going to be if it wasn't going to be judged in the USA uni, then why not make it WBC oriented and have representation from every country?
Yeah, it's like fucking WWE. They'll just they'll put their video game out and be like, oh, Triple H is on the cover.
Triple H is on it again.
And it's like, dude's been retired for 10 years. Like, you know, it's like we've that just shows that you can't build new stars. Whereas with Major League Baseball, they've built new stars. Like I'm not saying Judge is not a star, but he had his time. He's been on the cover, and it would have been cool to have him, you know, captain Team USA on the cover. But if you're not going to do that, we don't need Yankee Judge on the cover again. Like, put someone else on there.
Back when renting video games was a thing, like when you would go to a video store to rent a video game, and I remember this, like in Lubbock, like Wes Welker and Michael Crabtree were on the cover of every like NCAA/Madden game, like in Lubbock. Like, no, we don't care that it's Michael Vick on the actual cover. No, it's not. It's actually Michael Crabtree. It's actually Wes Welker. Like, just pump it up, right? Like, that's, I don't know, man. And that's my like growth mindset that I have for not only the video game itself, but the game of baseball and the event. Like, what better way to garner the hype than to throw this in there? And I think that, I mean, somebody will tell me, and I'm not going to take the time to look it up right now while we're talking, but I think it's a big miss if that's not something that the platform offers. I think it's a big miss to not have WBC capability or the WBC tournament mode in the game in a year when the WBC is out. Like, I think that's a big miss.
I don't have any insight or really rooting interest here, but I do wonder if we've reached a critical mass point with the WBC to this where they will be forced to accommodate it moving forward, because I do feel like the level of anticipation and hype building in advance of this WBC is unlike anyone previously. And certainly we've detailed how the rosters, at least on Team USA, which is frankly the most important as it relates to this conversation, has been drastically improved. I do wonder whether this is something they won't be able to avoid. Because I agree, it's a huge whiff.
Yeah, you could use, it looks like, you can use so I'm reading this, in 2023, you can build a dream team mixing and matching 100 players hailing from 20 different countries, including Major League superstars. But yeah, I would want like a full like franchise mode.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Was it?
Give me
Joe
the tournament
Mauer
mode.
Was on back
just like in
covers.
FIFA, right?
That was a dark time in baseball. We're in a much better place now.
Can you not
what
hear
was
me?
That like? Yeah, I heard you. I'm thinking what years that was though.
Oh, that was 10 and 11.
Was that 12? Okay, 11, 10, 11.
Yeah, that was pre the current era of great baseball stars.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some big names that
you could put Denzel Clark on the cover, ripping that homer. Why not Nick Kurtz, for crying out loud?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, Nick Kurtz and Jay Willie, throw it in there. 1, 2, Roy's for sure.
Yeah, maybe Mark Ellis.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Mark Ellis, one of my favorite teammates ever. Jay,
yeah, just throw him on the cover, just to do Kurtz, Jay Willie, Mark Ellis. That's cool.
Can you name any of the other cover stars from like the earliest versions?
No, probably not.
Do you know who the first cover star ever was on MLB The Show? 2006.
Was it Randy?
He's been on the show before. There's a few alumni that have been cover athletes.
Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard was 2008.
No, I don't know.
David Ortiz.
Poppy.
Yeah. David Wright in 07, Pedroia in 09, Maurer went back-to-back, Adrian Gonzalez, another former guest of ours, Andrew McCutcheon, was in 2013. He went on to win the MVP that year. Miguel Cabrera, Yasiel Puig in 15. Another former guest of the podcast and the stream in 2016, it was Josh Donaldson. 2017, they randomly put Ken Griffey Jr. on the cover. Sure. 2018 was Aaron Judge. 19 was Bryce Harper. Who did he win the MVP that year? Or he won the MVP in 18. What year did he win his Phillies MVP?
He won it in 18, and they put him in. Oh, his Phillies MVP was 21. It was 15 and 21 were his two MVPs.
Okay, so 19 was Bryce.
But 19 was his first year in Philly.
Got it. 2020 was Javi Baez. 21, my favorite, Fernando Tatis Jr. Shohei in 22. Randomly, Jazz Chisholm in 23.
Nice.
Vladdy Jr. And then last year they went Skeens, Ellie De La Cruz, and Gunnar Henderson, all cover athletes for MLB The Show in 2020.
I mean, they could have easily gone like, I mean, like why not go your two MVPs, your two Cy Youngs?
That's a good question.
I mean, I feel like if you're going to put Skeens on the cover, like that's a standalone. Like we don't need, no disrespect, we don't need Ellie and Gunnar in the same
Plus, he's
year
so
Paul
big.
Skeens.
He's just so big. You need
put him on the cover and just have that be the Skeens one.
Maybe just put his thigh on the cover.
There has anyone ever asked Mike Trout, like, did you just not want to be on the cover of a game? Like, how has Mike Trout never been on the cover of MLB The Show?
Yeah, at any point in time, just not the.
Never.
Yeah, I don't know. That must be it feels like that would have to be an active decision of his.
Has to be.
Like, no, sorry. Every time you want to do the shoot or whatever, I've got something to do, or I'm just not.
I respect.
Just not into it. Just not doing that.
Why has Mike Trout never been on the cover of MLB The Show?
Was he doing? Did he do? Like RBI when it came out for different platforms, or?
Yeah. Okay. Mike Trout has never been on the cover of MLB The Show, largely due to his preference for a quiet, low-profile persona, alongside exclusive endorsement deals with other baseball mobile games like MLB 9 Innings.
Yeah.
Well, he is arguably the best player of his generation. His lack of flashy marketing appeal compared to players like Aaron Judge or Fernando Tatis Jr. has led to developers to choose different athletes. Trout has long-standing exclusive or premier endorsement deals with other baseball games, specifically MLB 9 Innings, preventing him from headlining a rival product. I've never even heard of MLB 9 Innings.
I think he's the person.
It's a mobile app game.
Okay, they had to have given him a lot of money to forego being on the cover of MLB The Show.
He's the owner of MLB 9 Innings.
Yeah. He's. They just go ahead and cut that royalty right down the middle. It might even be 60-40 Trout.
They call him Mr. 9 Innings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we at the anything goes portion of the pod? The final thoughts or lingering topics? Yeah. I just have one thing. A lot of top 100s came out since the last time we recorded, or in the last week, top 100 prospects. And I knew that Connor Griffin was going to be the number one ranked prospect. I knew he would be the universal number one ranked prospect. What I don't think I was quite ready for was the comps that people have been using and the best since stuff and this is not random assholes on Twitter. This is the people who are paid to rank prospects by major outlets. Kylie McDaniel over at ESPN had him. He provides a reminds me of for all of the top prospects in the sport. His for Connor Griffin was Fernando Tatis Jr. meets Bobby Witt Jr. And then you head on over.
What?
Hold on. And then you head on over to The Athletic, where old friend Keith Law is hanging out. And he concludes his write-up with, I think he's the most exciting prospect we've had in the minors since Mike Trout. And I just maybe I was like rendered just kind of dejected or whatever off of the Jackson Holiday experience and prospect hype. And I know it's just one man and all that sort of stuff and the best since, but like the Connor Griffin rankings are apparently just zooming past anything related to him, zooming past anything related to any recent prospect. And we're going with like Mike Trout and a combination of 2 of the 5 most dynamic stars in the sport currently. So like, whatever. If he ends up being that good, I guess we'll find out. It's hard to know. But if that's the sort of talent that the Pirates have on hand at a position player side to pair with the prime of Paul Skeens. And again, I know he's obviously got a baseline level of talent if he's the number 1 prospect in the sport. But if these are the names that are being thrown around, I guess I don't know. I just was caught off guard and incredibly impressed with the names and the comps.
I know you've seen his numbers, Jay.
I've seen it all. I've read all the reports. I've watched video. I've seen his numbers. I was aware when he was drafted. And that's another aside, by the way. People were like, "Oh, hindsight, like hit us with the revisionist history." It dawned on me the other day that Cleveland had the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 draft and currently have neither Nick Kurtz nor Connor Griffin on their team, which is definitely not me saying I knew better or was saying pick Nick Kurtz or Connor Griffin, not Bazana. But that's a brutal look right now, even if Travis Bazana ends up being good. Like, we're talking about the guy who's the best prospect in the minors since Mike Trout, arguably. And we've laid out Nick Kurtz being like the best first baseman statistically for a person that age since XX or whatever it is. It's like, cool, man. That's cool. They had the number 1 pick and don't have either of those guys, but that's cool. Anyway,
that's right. That's right.
That was my cutting room floor right there.
Just
I did a lot of prospect reading.
Another member on the pirate ship, ready to get it. What are you showing us?
Is that you and Connor?
That's me and Connor Griffin.
Wow.
Yeah. I call him K Griff, but yeah.
He is taller than you, so that does look right.
What's he listed at? 6'4".
He's like 6'4". Yeah.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
6'4",
225. Yeah.
Number 1 prospect in baseball. Right there.
Not even close, apparently. Nobody says it was even a debate based on what I've read. Just
that top 10 list is full of shortstops and like 2 outfielders.
Dude, the pitching, Bubba Chandler and like you don't see pitchers on these lists until like the back end of the top 10 or the teens. It's kind of an interesting year for this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Shout out Leo DeVries, who is, I believe, was 11th on that list.
Oh, and by the way, the top pitching prospect, at least by some outlets, we already know his name, but Bubba Chandler returns to these lists and is arguably the top pitching prospect in the sport. So you've got
Chandler,
that going on.
Griffin, Hernandez, Florentino. Pirate ship looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Pirate ship looking good.
We could probably get him on the podcast.
Yeah, we should do that. It's a good time if you've got connections to do that with him being number 1 all across
we're best friends.
the boards.
Yeah, we're best
Sweet.
friends.
All right.
There you go. Boom. You got a final thought, Dallas?
Yeah, I do want to take the time to just kind of outline what the life of a player on the fringe could look like at any given time. At any given time, this is how rapidly, how quickly life changes. You want to talk about emotional roller coasters? I'm going to mention a name, and this name is Osvaldo Bido. And I was able to develop a relationship with Bido. I love this dude. I love him. He asks questions. He has a thirst for knowledge. He wants to learn. He is malleable. I mean, he knows he has good stuff and he wants to be better than what he has shown. With all that being said, this is the kind of roller coaster a guy like him can end up riding when your results are inconsistent. Right? He got DFA'd by the A's in December, picked up by the Braves on December 5th. On December 19th, he was DFA'd and picked up by the Tampa Bay Rays. January 16th of this year, he was DFA'd by the Rays and picked up by the Marlins. And 2 days ago, he was DFA'd by the Marlins and picked up by the Los Angeles Angels and has just recently been DFA'd by the Angels as well. So in a matter of 2 months,
it's like a third of the league, man.
You have been a part of 6 different teams now. And it's and you haven't even had time to get your agent to order you that color spikes. Like, it's just it is an emotional roller coaster that players have to deal with. And that's why I say I can understand prospects being ready and wanting to get them up and get them into the big leagues to see what you have there. I'm not saying this was Bideau's situation, but there's also something to riding that emotional roller coaster, because Bideau's, I think he's 30, 31 years old, somewhere around there. So it's not like he's a spring chicken, but the idea is when you're inconsistent and you haven't been able to plant your flag somewhere, this is the kind of run you can end up going on, or as I said, the kind of roller coaster you can end up going on. So I hope Bideau emotionally as well, because he's got great shit. It's just a matter of him being able to figure it out. And I hope that happens for him sooner rather than later.
Okay. Hope to God something happens before Monday.
God, seriously.
That'd be great.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I would truly appreciate that very much. All right. Until then, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you right back here on Monday morning for some more Baseball is Dead. See you then.
Well.